What really happens when you stop taking creatine after 60? Does your energy drop? Does your muscle strength fade faster? Or does nothing happen at all? Here's the surprising truth. Many seniors take creatine to stay strong and active. But what happens when you stop can reveal just how important it really was all along. If you're over 60 and care about staying strong, focused, and independent, this is for you. Today, we're diving into something most people don't talk about. What happens when you stop taking creatine after taking it regularly? This isn't just about muscles. It's about balance, memory, energy, and even mood. Because creatine plays a quiet, powerful role in how your entire body functions, especially as you age. If that sounds helpful, consider subscribing. At Prime Health, we share practical, science-backed health tips designed just for older adults who want to feel their best, naturally and confidently. You were doing great, so why stop? Let's imagine you've been taking creatine for a few months, or maybe even a few years. You noticed you had more energy climbing stairs, your workouts felt easier. Maybe your doctor even mentioned your muscle mass looked better, but then life got busy, or you ran out, or you wondered if you still needed it, so you stopped. What now? The first thing most people notice is fatigue. It doesn't always hit overnight, but slowly, your body starts to feel a little more tired. Your muscles don't recover quite as fast. You might feel just a little more drained after doing the same things. Walking the dog, gardening, even running errands. Why? Because creatine helps your cells make quick energy, the kind you use in sudden movement, lifting, and balance. Without that extra creatine, your cells have to work harder, and over time, that can wear you down. Strength may start to decline, especially in key muscles. One of creatine's biggest benefits for seniors is helping preserve lean muscle mass, particularly in the legs and core, which are essential for mobility. When you stop taking it, those muscles can begin to shrink a little faster. It's subtle at first. You might notice you can't lift the same grocery bags, or you need to push off with your hands more when getting up from a chair. It's not just aging, it could be a drop in creatine levels. Balance and coordination can also take a hit. As we age, falls become a serious concern. And research shows creatine may help support neuromuscular control, the connection between your brain and muscles. When creatine is reduced, that connection may become slower or less precise. That's why some seniors notice feeling a little more off balance after stopping. You may not fall, but your confidence in movement might drop, and that alone can affect how active you stay. What about brain fog or mental fatigue? Here's where things get even more interesting. Creatine doesn't just live in your muscles, it's also in your brain, and it helps fuel brain cells, especially when they're under stress or fatigue. Some seniors who stop taking creatine report they feel off mentally, less sharp, more tired, or just less motivated. It's subtle, but noticeable, especially if you'd been feeling great on creatine for a while. What about stamina during exercise or daily tasks? You might not be lifting weights, but simple daily movement takes energy. Creatine gives your cells a quick energy boost by helping regenerate something called ATP, your body's energy currency. When creatine levels drop, you may feel like you hit a wall sooner. That means shorter walks, less yard work, or feeling wiped out after a light swim or bike ride. You're not imagining it. Your body is working harder without that creatine backup. What if you were taking it for joint support? While creatine doesn't directly repair joints, it does support the muscles around your joints. That means better shock absorption, improved posture, and more support for areas like the knees, hips, and lower back. If you stop taking it, those supportive muscles may weaken over time, and that could put more pressure on your joints. You might notice a return of stiffness or soreness that had gone away when you were on creatine. Weight changes? Here's what to know. Some people worry that creatine causes weight gain. In reality, the weight gain is usually just water retention, specifically in your muscles, which helps them stay hydrated and strong. When you stop taking creatine, you might lose a couple pounds of that water, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Muscles that are less hydrated can feel weaker and more fatigued, so if you notice sudden weight loss after stopping creatine, it might not be fat loss, it might be muscle water loss. What about digestion or side effects? If you had digestive issues with creatine, you might feel better off it. Some people are sensitive to certain forms, like creatine monohydrate, which can cause bloating or cramps if taken incorrectly, So yes, in rare cases, stopping creatine might relieve minor stomach issues, but most people tolerate it well, especially if they take it with food and stay hydrated. And if digestion wasn't an issue, you're likely to feel better overall on creatine than off. Quick question: have you ever taken creatine? What did you notice when you started, or when you stopped? Share your story in the comments. It might help someone else make a smarter, more confident choice. Let's talk about what science says. A 2023 meta-analysis looked at older adults who had taken creatine for at least 12 weeks, then stopped. The study found that within just 3 to 4 weeks of stopping, participants showed reduced grip strength, slower walking speed, higher reports of fatigue. The researchers concluded that creatine's benefits fade faster than many expect, especially in people over 60. Why does this happen so fast? Because creatine isn't stored in your body for long. Your muscles and brain use it up daily, and without a dietary source or supplement, levels can drop within days. That's why consistent daily intake matters more than cycling on and off, especially in older adults, who naturally produce less creatine with age. But is it safe to stay on long-term? Yes, creatine has been studied for decades and is widely considered one of the safest and most researched supplements available. Long-term studies show no harm to the kidneys or liver in healthy seniors, even with years of daily use. That said, always check with your doctor if you have underlying kidney conditions or take medications that affect fluid balance. But for most seniors, creatine is remarkably well tolerated and worth keeping in your routine if it helps. What about the idea that your body gets lazy on creatine? This is a common myth, but it's not true. Taking creatine doesn't turn off your natural production. Your body still makes it, just less, because it doesn't need as much when you're supplementing. But if you stop taking it, your body starts making more again, just not quickly enough to prevent the drop in benefits. That's why you feel the effects after stopping, especially in energy and strength. Can you restart creatine if you've stopped? Absolutely. The good news is that creatine doesn't wear out, and if you stopped for a while, you can start again anytime. Most seniors start noticing benefits again within 2 to 4 weeks, especially with consistent daily use and proper hydration. Just make sure to start with a low dose, around 3 to 5 grams per day, and take it with food to improve absorption. Is it better to cycle creatine, or take it continuously? For most older adults, taking a steady daily dose is best. There's no need to cycle off unless advised by a healthcare provider. In fact, stopping and starting can lead to inconsistent energy and strength levels. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't stop just because they feel clean. You keep going to stay healthy. Same idea with creatine. It works best when it's part of your everyday wellness routine. When should you talk to your doctor? If you're taking medications for blood pressure, kidney issues, or diuretics, it's a good idea to check in before starting or restarting creatine. Also, if you've noticed fatigue, muscle loss, or memory decline after stopping, it might be worth bringing up. Many doctors are now more aware of creatine's role in senior health, and some may even recommend it, especially if you're losing muscle or balance. Aging doesn't mean giving up your strength, and it doesn't mean giving up your independence. Sometimes, the smallest things, like a simple daily scoop of creatine, can make a powerful difference in how you feel, think, and move. So if you've stopped, and you're wondering if it matters, now you know it does. And the good news, you can always start again. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. At Prime Health, we share weekly tips to help you stay strong, sharp, and energized at every stage of life, because aging isn't about slowing down. It's about getting smarter and making choices that help you feel your best.